Okay, the new books are out. I just did it, and it looks like it's DC's week. It's cover week. It's all about the covers this week, that's for sure. There's so many great covers. But DC has definitely the storyline going, or at least the storyline that you're going to get from us. I'll explain when I get a little bit further. Here, this Batman number 3, this is New Batman, Volume 4, 2025. Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez, and I waited until number 3 to do a review on this, to read the 3 issues, to talk about it. There'll be a link in the comments for this one, and you can see that I liked it. It's good. That's the overall impression of it. But it's that thing where, impress me with your third issue sales versus your first issue sales. The first issue went big. It went 500,000 copies, and the sort of average for comic books is probably 50,000, and a good title gets maybe 200,000. So for a title to sell 500,000, but it's Batman, it's number 1. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not impressed by huge sales of Batman number 1. Number 2, I'd be impressed. It went to second print, so it's all right. Hey, maybe this one's holding up. And I'm a Batman guy. It's Batman and Wolverine for me, so I'm being a little bit hard on them in terms of what I expect, but not necessarily. I expect it to just be good, and it is. And I think you'll like it. Watch the review. Make sure to give it a like. And even if the guy doesn't like me anymore, I called him a hypocrite, and I could go into it. We could talk about it, but I still love Nathan Zerdy's art. And if that wasn't distracting enough, there's sort of wonderful ice cream scoops right there. The shiny one is also available, and then there's this great lyrics as well. A handful of those. So the big thing is then Night Fight, and this is, far too many Batman, which is funny coming from somebody that says Batman, but it's a battle, and it's all about this Omega level event, and the Justice League and others, ultimately, superheroes, people with superpowers, they're out to save the universe. They have to, because Darkseid has won. He's basically taken over, and the only way that they can go up against him is for them to battle each other to become King Omega. Basically, the winner of this battle, this KO event, is going to become a King Omega and will be able to face off against Darkseid and save the DC universe. Here's the first issue of KO. I left it out here just so you could catch up, because again, it's selling out all over the place, and I knew it would as soon as it caught on, and people will be coming and asking me for it when it's gone. And speaking of that, that's a good example right here. Absolute Superman number 13, a great story. All the Absolute stuff is, and it's just tearing through. It's just tearing through sales. It's really great, and one of the things that we've been able to do with it, because we've been on top of the Absolute stuff all along, is to put together these bundles, and we have a few left. We've sold most of them. This Superman is one of them, and it's most, if not all, of the current issues. I'd have to count exactly how many it actually is, but then there's the 13 on top of it, and we have a couple of those. We have one of the Absolute Wonder Womans left. There's a couple of Martian Manhunters, a couple of Green Lanterns, a few Flashes left. But they've been going like hotcakes. We're out of the Batman. We're totally out of the Batman, but we do have a handful of individual covers left. These are incentive covers. You see all those were all Batmans. They just sold the other day. And that's exactly how it's gone, too. We've had these, just a handful, because we've had enough people on the pull list to justify it. We've been able to get 1 in 25s and a handful of 1 in 50s. And it's worked out really well, because ultimately people have been so enamored with the Absolute stuff that if that's all we have, they come and buy 3, 4 books, incentive books, 1 in 25s, whatever, at a time, just so they can get them. So grab these bundles while they're here. Amazing Spider-Man continues, and you got this fantastic cover. This is what I was talking about. Just another great cover, and I will point them all out here as we go along. It's just this classic, of course. I love the classics. I'll bring that up again here in just a minute, too. Face It, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot. Of course, that's classic Mary Jane. Alien versus Captain America, and here we go again with the covers. That's Lee right there, and then this is Panosian. There's just so many fantastic covers. Echo, the daughter of Daredevil, and there's a great David Mack cover right there. It's just so many covers. It's all about the covers. And those DC stories. And if you're into these things, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you're going to be fine with that. You don't know where some of these things go sometimes. Sometimes they're great stories. Sometimes they're not quite what you expected or wanted. No, this is a Voices celebration. This is one of the these characters that has been used to attract a new audience for readers, or at least into the popular storylines for these comic book characters. There have always been stories for people of different tastes and different proclivities existing in comic books. That was what comic books were. Let's see, Planet She-Hulk #1. Fantastic again with the covers. It's a kudu cover, and here I love this lolly colors. It's very colorful because it's shiny. Just a touch of shiny right there on that one, and Jenny Frison obviously right there. Your Spirits of Vengeance. You have your Peach Momoko, Ultimate X-Men, the Ultimate line coming to an end. But this is what I was talking about just a second ago that I wanted to mention. So we've been talking the last few weeks about all of this Age of Revelation stuff. And so I have a handful of these first ones left. And while that looks like a big, thick stack, it's actually just X-Men behind that is the title that was behind it before. So there's just a handful of these left. And the more important point is, just telling you about the importance of getting on the pull. It helps us buy. It really helps us save money. It helps us so that we don't have stuff left over on the shelves. But it also makes it, much more likely that you'll be able to get the things when they get popular and they take off. None of this week's Age of Revelations titles made it to the shelf. They all went into pulls. This is it. This is all that's here. And we can get them, obviously, but it's just that sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't, and it's just that important. It can make that much difference when a title takes off, any title, and it's a big storyline like that. To have multiple titles that came out this week, it was Binary #2. I think there was another X-Men. What else was there? There was another Laura Kinney Sabretooth. I believe another Omega Kids. None of them made it to the shelf. Cruel Universe, the EC stuff, the anthology stuff continues. You can't get enough. Brand new Dynamite story, Blood Red, obviously Vampirilla right there, and just again covers. Look at that. Isn't that great? That's amazing cover. I don't know who that is on that cover art, but it's just awesome. And what can you say about any of the Vampirilla stuff? Look at that. Awesome Noir. She's a detective, in case you didn't know. Look at that. Just amazing. It is all about the covers this week. Godzilla #4. Just a banging cover, right? Just cool. Little Nightmares, that's the video game turned into a comic book. I have some #1s in case you're still interested there. If you won't be behind. And so another thing I mentioned a minute ago was the sort of nostalgia, the importance, whatever. This, I think, is super cool and super important. This is a facsimile edition of Sabrina, not the first appearance. Her first appearance is back in 1962. This is 1971. And so it's her first series. It's the first issue in her first series. That series ran until 1983 and had 77 issues. And there are a whole bunch of comic books and titles and authors and artists and creators and studios represented here and here and here and here and here who wish they could do 77 issues. And just awesome, just amazing. Special cover coming up in February. If all goes well, and we will have a special store exclusive cover coming out on a special edition of Archie comic book coming up for Valentine's. That's our plan. If everything goes well, it'll happen. And last but not least, the Dreadnought War kicks off, and look at that Mark Spears cover. I only have a few of those. When they're gone, they're gone. Just a couple more things of note. So the poll prize for the month went to Travis. Travis was the winner of the poll prize, and he got all. It was a little package of 3 books, is what it turned out to be, for the DCKO event. So it was kind of neat, a little preview book, and then a couple others. The first issue and a special blind bag. But this is a 1 in 25, and unless Ben has a problem with it, which I didn't ask him yet, this will be what we give away this month. This is, and I thought there was a reason for this. One, it's 1 in 20, it's 1 in 25. The book is popular. The stories are good. It is it's a annual. It's the first annual, so it's a compilation. It's multiple stories. It's a way for people to get into Absolute Batman, and then if you like it, you go back and you get the rest of it. So I thought that'd be a great way to introduce somebody to it. Giant book. We don't carry a lot of these because they're extremely expensive, but look at that. That thing is so huge. It's one of these omnibus. Silver Surfer, just one that we happen to have available, something new, and this was even cooler. Now, you want to talk about value. I love these DC Compact Comics, and we're starting to get a few more of them, and we sell every single one of them as soon as we get them. So I grabbed a couple of these, V for Vendetta. Look at it. It's the whole run. They're chunky. $10. That's all that is. The whole 12-issue V for Vendetta series. It's right up my alley. I already got mine. I already took it home. So they, the story. They'll be here or they won't. And if you would click that like button.